Okay, chat. So, as I mentioned just before we started the recording, you have a very important job to do today, and that will become very clear in a moment once we get the game booted up. Oh, I already had it open actually. Close that. Open it. Should hear the game, and if we hear the game, we'll switch over. I think my headset is muted. 1 second. Okay, I can hear that now. Then we should hear the game. Or I don't hear the game at all. Let me close it again and relaunch. I was gonna say, before it was definitely an issue with the headset, but now the headset is working because I heard the Windows sound. Come on. Do it. Want to hear that classic PlayStation? There we go. Oh, we don't want to hear screaming. Screaming is for later. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna jump into the game itself. I almost went to the Elgato for some reason. Weird. Anyway, let's boot this up. And let me pump up the screen so I can read what everybody's saying. As I said before, there's an important task to do. I just need to find a save state in Mayhem. Oh, a little bit of a spoiler, I guess. Oh, interesting. Is it different colors in different areas? Oh, that might mess things up. How are we gonna test this then? I need to have save points in different locations. We have Richter kills. Does F10 not do anything? Hold on a second, chat. Oh, it does. So this is a problem. Apparently some of the colors are tied to the backgrounds. I did have a couple of colors picked out, but spoilers, I guess. We can color the axe armor, but apparently it is still very finicky, like it is with Alucards. Let me open up the RAM watch. I hit the save button instead of load. That was my fault. We're gonna go ahead and boot up our main axe armor sheet. So Godchild helped me find some of these. There's actually one of the graphics was missing on the file, and I had to find this manually. But he basically showed me the offset on stream, on his stream. So I managed to find the missing graphic. But essentially, for all these values, chat, for example, if I put this back to 1, and then I go back to the menu, it's gonna be the normal axe armor color. So what I want to do is that, because I've already locked these in as a cheat, I can go ahead and open up the cheats. Might take me a couple tries, because it was very finicky with me when I did this last time. And I'm going to open in Hex Editor. Hex Editor doesn't show for the chat, I'll just pop it open again. There we go. We're going to have the Hex Editor. We're just going to focus on where the axe armor is. In fact, I'm going to walk slightly to the right so we can see them a bit better. Essentially, there are several numbers. Let me trim this down. I don't even need to see even this one. Or honestly, I don't even need to see the top of this. Something like this is probably good enough. Gonna trim it a little bit. We'll blow up the numbers a little bit. It's not super important, and I know some people ask for it. We'll do something like that. But ultimately, what we're looking to do is in the Hex Editor, there are these blue highlighted numbers. I don't want to see those highlighted boxes. This is where I was saying it was very finicky with me earlier. For some reason, it keeps thinking I'm drag and dropping or drag selecting, and I'm like, I'm really not. This is the only thing where I've seen it try to do that before when I use control click. But I'm going to highlight all of these so that they're a active hex. And what we're going to do is we're just going to cycle through some colors. We're going to go kind of slow, because I know there's a chat delay. So I'll basically announce the color as we go through them, and if chat likes a certain color, and I say a certain number, we will write it down. Now I'm going to change over my laptop to use the touchpad numpad, because I don't have the plus button normally. So if I just increment this by 1, get all sorts of broken colors. I'm going to look until we get at least a solid color, and then we'll start the count here. I know the numbers might be hard to read, but I'll read them out loud. Speaking of which, I mean, that's technically a color, number 16. Interesting, number 18. We found the axe armor normal color again. That's kind of weird. It's 25. Weird. We're looking for some more normally kind of colors. Looks like a lot of the early parts are kind of junk, though. Speaking of kind of junk, I'm gonna say I hope there are better colors than what we're seeing here. Right now, I'm not super thrilled. But we have solid colors. So if we want to do a solid color, chat, the solid yellow is 48. Orange is 49. Kind of like a purple pink. Not sure what to call that. Magenta? Is that magenta normally? Is a 4A. 4B is a blue. 4C is a green. 4D is red. We have black, but I think I'm going to ban that because that's like impossible to see against the dark backgrounds. We have white, which is, it's 4F. We have the flashy colors. If chat thinks this is acceptable, we could technically give ourselves flashy colors. I'm thinking what we'll end up doing is we'll be tying some of these colors into the Joseph's Cloak. And the Joseph's Cloak, every time it's equipped, will be a random color. So that way chat can kind of random cycle. Because I know normally Joseph's Cloak in the game of SotN allows you to choose the colors manually. So we could kind of emulate that. I think that'd be kind of neat. So we have 50 is this kind of orange. The gray one is 51. Blue is 52. Rainbow, which is absolutely obnoxious, is 53. We got the dark black, which I'm still going to ban, is 54. We got the curse color, which I might end up using for a graphic effect. Maybe 55. We got the dark red flash, 56. I could end up doing this to say you have momentum. I'll actually write that number down. 1 second as I put it in my note. Sort of like how in Mayhem currently. Well, but then most of the time it would just be that red. I'll think about it. I'll think about it, because I don't want people to be flashing a color the whole time. But it's nice to know that option's there, I guess. Got flashing yellow, 57. You got green, 58. Dark blue, flashing, 59. 5A. Again, that kind of purple pink. 5A. 5B is kind of more of a green, sickly color. And we got a much brighter version of that, 5C. Brighter red at 5D. 5E is green. You like the bloody armor? I was gonna say, I hope you remember what color that was. 56. Good job for now. Yeah, I don't think there were any other ones. Oh, I got it. And unfortunately, because I don't have a numpad on this keyboard, I have to switch between using touchpad and other things, so there's kind of a weird, clunky delay. We're just gonna skim through, so I think we were here. I don't think we saw this one. This was 60. We have kind of a normal-looking color. I might put this in for consideration. So this is 61 in Hex, which I have to remember. I have to convert this. 61, kind of like a normal night color. Could be useful for, like, what is it, cloth cloak. There's basically 7 colors we're gonna need to pick out, and I think this could be one of them. It's different enough. As I said before, I have to remember that it's very annoying, but I have to switch through it like this. Push this in, disable this. This down, don't need speaking and notes open. Minimize this. Okay, that is much easier for me to reach now, much better. Kind of like tribal paint version of the same one. I like a darker color with, I guess it's 99 in the cheats. Well, I guess I could have just looked, I guess I'll look back at the video, because the bottom right is the unsigned value. So that's base 10, your typical 1 to 10. But the ones on the left-hand side are the hex. Kind of a very interesting dark blue. I might write this in for consideration. It's a very strange color. Dark green. Is there anything that has the axe a different color? One thing I will state, chat, it is possible to mix and match the colors, because you could see how many hexes are highlighted in the bottom right. The only downside to that is that most of the time what makes an armor not usable is the axe color itself. 61 looks like broken armor. Something like that. Yeah, see, like, most of the time it's the axe that's broken. This one kind of reminds me, this is like the Barney color. Might put this one in as a joke. Put this one here. I don't think this will be on the main cloaks. I'm just literally going to call this Barney, because I'll know what I'm talking about with that. Okay. Most of these colors I expect to be broken, but we'll take a look. Dark blue, but flashing. Weird. See, I don't like how some of the colors look there. Like for 112 here, for example. I don't like the highlight colors. Oh, that is a horrendous red for 113. Kind of a gold armor at 114. A more acceptable gold armor for 115. Maybe I'll put that as an alternative. I don't think this is good enough to be like on a main cloak. But we could probably still take advantage of it. As I said before, there are not many cloaks in the game. I think there were literally 6 or 7. I'm actually gonna double check. Like, I know there's one that you can't normally reach, and it's like a known cloak. Hope you find something that looks rusty. I did find some later ones that look that color, but I'm not sure if they're gonna work across all areas, so we'll have to kind of test it. Yeah, so in the game, as items, you have your default color, obviously cloakless. You got the default cloak, which is not usually accessible in the game. You got cloth cape, reverse cloak, elven cloak, crystal cloak, royal cloak, blood cloak, Joseph's cloak, and twilight cloak, and those are the only capes in the game. So if we could get like 6 or 7 really solid colors, Joseph's cloak can basically be whatever we deem is not like good enough to be on the main cloaks, but still lets you have access to those colors. Like this one, I don't know if it's strong enough on its own. I'm not, like, it's interesting. I like a yellow, but I don't know if it's like, wow, this really has to be guaranteed. We kind of got an Incredible Hulk version of it. I mean, I guess I could put both versions in here. It is the Joseph's cloak after all. Maybe we'll save these for the Joseph's cloak. In fact, you know what? This is looking very much like the Joseph's cloak, so I might just put all of these as the Joseph's cloak, and we'll just figure out what we want for other ones. Yellow and blue. The other one was more of a green. One's more of an aqua or a teal. So yeah, that would actually solve the Joseph's cloak. We got more of a blue. Well, okay. I'm just gonna put all of these as Joseph's cloak for now. I think they're okay enough that it could be interesting. And as I said before, if it rotates, it'd be kind of nice. Imagine if every time you went in the menu, it changed. Have like a light purple. Oh, don't glitch on me. Don't you crash. Like, game, I know I touched the cheat file by accident, but that doesn't mean you should do that. So I think these in conjunction would be enough colors for the Joseph's cloak, so it makes my job really easy. Why are you doing this? Stop that. Please don't do that. What broke? Come on. Okay, well, we're gonna close for now. Something about it is acting really weird. Let's close and restart. We left off at 119. I'm just gonna exit because something happened with the cheat file. I'm just gonna reload it. Because it's like every time I went to increment it, it's like, I can't find this cheat. And I'm like, but I didn't delete anything. Does reverse cloak have 2 colors? You are asking SotN game knowledge to someone that doesn't play SotN outside of modding. I have no idea. I have no idea what vanilla items do. No idea. I couldn't even tell you what the normal cloak colors are. In fact, had I not looked at that list, I don't think I could have named anything other than Blood Cloak and Joseph's Cloak. This is the only 2 I remember. So I super do not remember the look of things. I usually don't care. But I know I know people in general have been requesting it. Okay, Screaming Richter. We'll go to that later. Just seeing. It seems to load pretty consistently. Why does this... Oh, no. I just realized why that wasn't working. Oh, I had this stupid auto key on. I have to go fix the death counter. I have to go rewatch this weekend of gameplay later. Stupid thing. Ooh, that looks kind of funky. Did it... Oh, maybe because it broke the cheat. That's right. Okay, so I'm gonna have to resync the colors. The colors are not in sync. Take a look. Oh, that's not the right file. Yeah, see how this one is 121? one should be 119. So some of these sprites involve, like, if you go left and right. Oh, is there actually still a missing color? Really? Oh, I see. No, I see it here. Okay, we just missed one color. It's not a big deal. I just want to make sure we have all the things. So if I take damage there, good. Just making sure everything is there. Because I have to use all these hexes later. Anyway, where were we? I think we were looking at the cheats. And then from there... I don't know why this says 119. I'm going to make this 77. You in the hex editor. Not going to work because it's very picky. No? Probably move this a little more, actually. Oh, I can't. My scene is off-centered. You know what? We're having all sorts of technical issues today. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to not think about it. Set off stream. It looks fine on stream, but on my side, like, half of the scene is, like, under chat. OBS just kind of broke today, chat. I don't know what to say. It's not working as intended. All these numbers should be the same. Not sure why they aren't. Let's play the game of hit all the colors. Let's play the game of hit all the colors and don't think I'm drag selecting, because I'm not doing that. Again, only this hex editor is so picky with me. I don't have problems clicking on things normally. Why did it do that? I'm not doing anything different. It's just shift left click, and then sometimes it decides it wants to select everything, and I'm like, no. I'm only single clicking. I'm taking it fairly slow with the click. No. There we go. Now I could go back here. I should be able to increment again. Well, kind of a dark... I could probably put that one in there. Okay. The 120 is black. Reverse click opens an option in the menu. You can change the cape from normal crystals or custom colors. I think that is way too much effort, Calvicium. I'm gonna be real honest with you. That is like the amount of time spent to the intended impact. That is like ultra low on the priority list. I can assign a cloak a color and have just this cloak reset whenever you open the menu, but I don't think I'm gonna look into giving two different colors. Maybe if I'm very bored in the future, but over everything else, no way. Let me move my character slightly. Oh, why are the colors offset? Okay, so there's something not selected here. Like, it's like technically possible. I don't want to do that though. Why did all these cheats get desynced? Hold on a second, chat. I'm looking at this and this doesn't make any sense. Oh, because these are in hex. I see what happened. Can I just fix these to be hex? That's why everything was out of sync. Oh. Suddenly that makes a lot more sense to me. But one of my cheats was not correct. I was wondering how they ended up desynced. They should all be... There we go. Now it was gonna bother me because I was like, I just saw that random other color that's not valid. Okay, so let's click on this again, or let's increment. We're at 129. I don't know how I feel about that one. Think about it. 130. I think I'm gonna say no to that one. Not really feeling these. Ooh, what does chat think of this one? I'm gonna write it down in general. I don't know if I'm gonna place it over the other ones that we found. Kind of like an orange-blue. This might not be a bad color for reverse, where blue and orange are opposites. Normally your hair is red. It's like, it's kind of like opposites. Kind of reminds me of like a photo negative. I'm gonna put like photo negative. Well, I'm gonna say reverse orange, maybe. I'm hoping for something. Oh, there's a. Oh, that's not bad actually. It's a bit more generic, but I like the golden axe with it. I'm gonna call this one like Gray Knight Golden Axe. Not bad. I wanna be careful. I might have to weed them out based off of like how many gray ones we get. Obviously, I don't want them all to be gray. So I'm definitely hoping, as like Kat is saying, I'm hoping for like some reds. I think I saw some reds earlier when I was testing. Maybe some oranges. Basically not this. I don't want to see that color. Number 136. Interesting. Kind of a pale version of the other one. Well, I guess if we go forward with that reverse color idea, I guess I could put those there. I'll group them for now. More like a pale yellow with blue. And what we're going to do is that for each of these colors, we're essentially going to retest them and see how they look in other areas. Oh, Golden Axe was on SNES? I thought it was Sega Genesis. I only remember playing it there. Ooh, I like the color red. I don't like his axe per se. I think it's a very interesting armor color though. I think chat would agree. I'm just not in love with the axe. As I said before, the downside, well, if we could find an arm that looks red-ish, I think we can override it. So you can see in my hex in the bottom right, I have Axe Stance 1, Axe Stance 2. If we change just those, it will end up altering the color a little bit. But I think maybe this is good enough. Yeah, it's kind of fiery. I guess that kind of works. We'll label this one fire. I think this is a really good Blood Cloak candidate. Right? It just kind of, it's pretty close. Unless there is like a dark red one, then we'll see. I'll call this one just like fire. Okay, so what other colors do we have? Terrible. Ooh, kind of a photo gray one. Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, if we have some gray ones, I want them to be a little different. That one's different enough. I'll put it in for consideration. So this one is kind of monochrome. Monochrome. So we have a decent color range. As I said before, Joseph's Cloak, we'll just kind of do it random. Like a lighter gray version of it. Kind of like it with the darker gray there. I don't think I'm gonna go for the other one. If I had to choose between them. Oh, now that one is hideous. Oh, I'm putting this one in. I don't care what the chat says. This one, this Sunburst. I found Sunburst, chat. That is, beautifully hideous. Not really feeling that one. You get darker grays. Oh no. No, we've had such good shading. What happened? Ooh, kind of an interesting one. What does chat think of this one? It's more of like a really deep dark red. Thank you, Christopher, for resubscribing. Hopefully you're doing well tonight. We are altering the axe armor colors. We're seeing what candidates we could add. Ooh, that one's kind of fugly. That one almost works. It's like, it's so close to being good, but it's just not. That one's not even close. That one's not even close. Come on, give me some good colors. Oh, that's hideous. Hello, Christogram. We dealt with Suikoden earlier. I think it's the best way to put it, and we're just kind of unwinding with SotN. We're just kind of skimming through the colors. We're nearing the end of the range. There's only 255 possible values. That one's pretty hideous. Oof. That one is like uniquely terrible. Reminds me of like almost like an SNES cover. It's not a game like Pox or something weird, but they have a lot of pastels. That's what it kind of reminds me of. It was kind of a weird reference. So wait, what's the difference between 178 and this one? Hold on. So what is the difference? Well, we'll have to investigate these, compare these. It's like maybe slightly different axe colors, but it looks very similar to one we saw before. This one's just the same one, but darker. That one's even darker. That one's even darker. That one's really dark. Okay, that one's just getting ridiculous. That green is so hideous. I love it on the hair and the armband, but I think the axe is a little much. What do you think of this one, chat? Should I bother writing this one down? Very doo-doo color. It's like, I actually kind of like the shades of the gray, and the green is actually not terrible. I think it's just a bit much on the axe. I wish the axe itself was gray with, like, the green outline. That would have been kind of good. Think about it. Anyway, we're on 185. The same one, but darker. Oh, it's interesting how much that changes over time. That one's actually not bad. If desperate, it's Elven. Maybe. Yeah, this is kind of like... I'll put another category for this. I'm gonna separate this out from my other colors. I'm gonna put it in the maybe category. So I kind of like the darker version of this. So I'm gonna put it as 190. Yeah, you're right. It definitely could be better. We still have more numbers to go, so hopefully the other numbers don't let us down. No way. Not visible. That one's pretty atrocious. In fact, all of these are kind of atrocious. We have 192, 193, 194. Another variant of the Golden Axe. We're gonna have to compare some of these later, I think. The 135, I'm gonna separate this out again. We're gonna compare it to, this one is 195. We'll have to make a decision as to which one we want. This one's more of a... It's still a Golden Axe, it's just not gray. It's more like a... It has like a brown tint to it. I don't really know how to characterize that as a color. And I think the hair pieces are dark, which I don't think the other one was. I'll say alt gray or something. Okay. Let's continue. Let's see what other colors we have. All of these look the same. Come on, don't let us down. Oh. All these potential colors wasted, chat. Well, that one would be almost unplayable for many reasons. Okay, do we have ones that are... Almost. Okay, we're getting into some reasonable color territory. We're at 229. This one looks so good if not for the axe. This one is actually upsetting, because this one is like, I like the helmet, and I really like the armor. I hate the axe. Okay, so we're gonna make a small note here. Hold on. 230, but no axe. I might come back to this one. I'm gonna put this in the maybes. As I said before, we might be able to swap out his upper body. I'm gonna say, oh, but needs new axe. Yeah, there we go. So that way I have something I can kind of come back to. Because I think otherwise I really like that combination of like the yellow and the dark red. I think that looks really cool, and I like how it highlights the arm, but really not a fan of the axe. Yeah, let's see where that's certainly a choice. Ooh. 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 I don't like this one. Hopefully this one works in other rooms. This one's definitely a candidate for sure. Kind of like a... I'm gonna say golden. It's like a kind of like a burnt yellow. I'd like to have color variety where we can get it. Oh, there's no way these work in other rooms. These look too good. There's no way. Like, this one's like an easy one. Like, I'm not, like, hold on. How does it look in other rooms? Oh, it looks hideous in certain rooms. But, like, look how good this one looks there once I move the image out of the way. Man, can't have anything nice. Like, look how good this one looks. Doesn't chat agree? Like, this one would have been amazing. I'm so upset, chat. Like, this is like a perfect color that would have been, but it doesn't work because it's in like the goofy territory. Disappointing. Does that mean the other one doesn't work? Yeah, see how it literally just shifts color? No, I don't think we can use the high-end ones, unfortunately. Very disappointing. I know. It looks so good, and then it wasn't. Okay, is this one ridiculously blood red in every room? Let's find out. Oh, it's not. Yeah, I was trying to figure out how to get through the axe armor, so you'll just hear the screams as I sort through there. Dang, some of these colors are so inconsistent. Anyway, let's go back to our testing room. Yeah, that's the downside with the colors. Like, they're so... Like, this one looks really cool, but, like, if I go to put this in another room, it's probably not gonna work. Yeah, see, like, it's all fugly. Like, whatever the heck that is on the right side of the screen. Disappointing, chat. There's, like, so many potentially good colors. We're kind of nearing the end of the list. I'm assuming none of these work across different rooms. I mean, I guess I could check again, but I think we're at the end of the list. Yeah, like chat, that's not playable. Like, what are we even looking at? The game couldn't even aim at me properly. It's like, I stab at nothing. Perish. Probably for the best that we went off screen. I think what we're gonna do is we are going to go back to the cheats. We're going to see how these colors interact in other rooms. Why did it not update? Oh, does it only let you update one at a time? Are you serious? Well, let's not do it that way, because that will take me forever. I'm gonna set everything here to 86. Oh, that's the flashing red. Okay. We might put this as a character effect. I don't think this will be a normal armor color. And then 61 is... what? Let's poke this, put this at 97. It seems to work. As I said before, I think this one might be our, like, clock, or our cloth cloak. Yeah, the bot is so broken, chat. Look, it's just doing normal stream elements. Poor bot. Rest in peace. So we'll test these out in a couple different rooms. I will probably put away the hex for now, since we don't need to see it. Speed the screen up a bit. Just gonna try, like, a couple areas. Seems pretty consistent. I think we can keep this one. Got kind of a ridiculous dark blue. Like, why is this one work of all things? Oh, like Neon Night or something. Yeah, that's what I'll call it. Well, thank you for stopping by, Calvicium. Hopefully you have a safe trip. Of course the Barney color works. Of course, chat. So we have 3 colors so far. I think we needed 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8, but we have colors reserved for Joseph's cloak, so we only need 7 colors. So let's see which ones will end up making the cut. I suppose whatever doesn't make the cut, quote unquote, we just add to Joseph's cloak. One is the reverse orange. That one seems okay. We'll poke this to the other color. Kind of like a pale version of it. Axe Armor Night Mode. That's a good point. 240, burnt yellow. Let's just make sure it works in other rooms. Do some due diligence with this. It doesn't work. Like, it's like, some of these would be so cool, but they look so goofy. Like, it's only in certain rooms, so I think none of the 240s can work. So right now we have 5 colors. Oh, and we have fire, Oh, no, we got more colors, Yeah, I was worried we ran out already. Okay, so we got fire. I think looks pretty cool. I think this is probably the best one. It's probably going to be universal. That looks so nice. I like the color of the axe. Actually, now that I look at it a bit more, it really helps it pop out against the armor. So we have 6 colors. I just need one more. So unfortunately, I'm gonna put these into the doesn't works. So what is the difference between 135 and 195? Because I would like one of these to be the next color. We have kind of like a gray with a gold. So what is the difference between this and this, if anything? Oh, well, that one's just broken. Well, I mean, that makes my life really easy. So that color just doesn't work. What a shame. So we definitely want the golden axe for sure. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We still have monochrome and sunburst. I might put those into Joseph's cloak, as I said before. Oh, but then we don't have the dark red. I guess I can move Neon Knight out into the Joseph's cloak, because I'm not as in love with that one. I think Joseph's cloak will just be the repository of whatever we don't super love. Because I think, like, for example, 154 was really cool. So go to this one. Hopefully it works. Not bad. I could have the thing where it behaves differently in different castles, like the other one. I think for now I'm gonna put it in as Joseph's cloak, though. I'm gonna move one of the pale yellows there. I'm just gonna pick one arbitrarily. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I could move one more. I'm not sure how in love I am with monochrome. This is 154, which is the dark red. So what was the difference between 154 and 178, if anything? Oh, it's like slightly darker. Interesting. What do you think, chat? Do you like the lighter version of this or the darker version? I'd like one of these to be in the build. Is Joseph's cloak going to be random? I think it will be. I think I'm literally going to say every time you open the menu and you have Joseph's cloak, it literally just randomizes it. And also on pickup, it's going to be random. Sorry, your chat is lagging, though. I'm kind of tempted to say the darker one. But before I do that, I want to make sure I'm not ignoring the chat opinion on this. And, like, 230 is, like, so close to being good. It's just that the axe is so horrendous. It's so bad. Unless I do something like... Unless I make, like, a custom color and I do something like this. Oh, how does it flicker? That's crazy. He's like flashing like a nightlight. I love it. See, it's like I like the red of the other one. It's just the other one is so messed up. It's like so close to being good, chat. So we can color the axe separately, just showcasing that it is possible. Not like a take it or leave it kind of thing. See, it's like, for one frame, that's exactly what I want. It's so close. You see what I mean, chat? Like, that's where I'm, like, so upset. Like, if that axe wasn't so hideously green, this would be one of my favorites. Because it looks really nice with the dark axe. It's so close, but it's not quite there. I think I'm gonna have to let the dream die for now. I'm gonna mark this as look into later. So I think, I wasn't seeing anything in opinion-wise from the chat. I think I'll go with the darker red. I want to look at one last color. Oh, it's this one. I could put in Justice Cloak, it's fine. Gray with bright green axe. It's like okay. I like how the gray looks. Not a huge fan of the axe. I could always change the color, I guess, of it. Did we have any other backups for that? Oh, it won't let me edit both of them at once. It's annoying. I don't even see it changing at all. Do a more drastic change. That's not the right one. I mean, that's a pretty drastic change. Not what I'm looking for. Just randomly is dark red. I love it. Totally break his graphic, chat. Yeah, it's like, it's okay. I'll maybe put it in there. We'll see. Just to give it more variety. So, let's see. How many colors are these? I could add an alternate dark red to the Joseph's Cloak. I don't technically have to choose. Yeah, I could skip it there. Okay, so we have all of our maybes are in Joseph's Cloak, so it's just kind of a hodgepodge of random colors. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I need to remove one color. Which one am I the least in love with? And I'll move it to Joseph's Cloak. Like, I think dark red isn't bad. Up next we have Sunburst, which is so hideous. It's so hideous that I love it, chat. Actually, maybe I'll put that in Joseph's Cloak. Maybe that'll make it a bit easier for me. I'll think about it. I definitely want this color to be there. I want people to be blinded randomly. We got kind of monochrome. We got the fire. Pretty good. We have the golden axe, which I think should be one of the standard colors. We got reverse orange, which is quite hideous. Not sure, which one's more hideous, this one or Sunburst? Ooh, Sunburst is kind of like an alternative to that. Okay, so then I think Sunburst has to go in Joseph's Cloak. Never mind. Because they're basically very similar to each other. Then we got the absolutely hideous Barney. Love it, chat. And 97, I think, is another normal knight. What's the difference between the normal knight and the golden axe? Just see one more time. Ooh, they're kind of like offshoots of each other as well. I might put the normal knight in the other pile then. Maybe we have to move out one of the other ones. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I need one of the other colors to come. Would be good here. That one is so hideous. I think that's a Joseph's Cloak specialty. Some of these are just so heinous. I love them. Okay, the dark mode. Like, I just wish we had, like, one more color. Do you know what I mean, chat? Like, it's just, like slightly shy of what I'm looking for. I'm gonna make sure we did... Oh, good. That one is hideous. that one of the colors isn't corrected, so I'm just seeing that awfulness. I have like another blue. Does this work in other rooms? It's normal color in certain areas? Why? Oh, this one shapeshifts. Ooh. What is that color? Uh-oh. Do I have to pay attention to the axe color? Uh-oh. I didn't test that with the other ones. Why does it look like that? That's heinous. What's causing that color to appear? 1 second, chat. No. Ooh, one of these is kind of messed up. Okay. Which one is it? We'll find it eventually, chat. One of these controls the axe swing color, which I can make whatever I want. Oh, that's hideous. Okay, so let's make a note here. Axe swing. So we need to actually attack with this. Make sure that this is not an abomination known to man. Now, that also means we can have the axe change colors when we swing. Obviously, this is not acceptable, but I'm just curious. If we take a look at some of the other colors, how do they fare when you melee? Is it like some horrible garbage? That one has no swing animation, but I'm okay with that. I don't necessarily need to see the slice. Oh, now that one is hideous. Okay, so for the Neon Knight, we might need a custom axe. I don't want it to, like, flicker and bother people. Oh, I forgot. I put this one. So, I guess if it's really heinous, I could leave it at 1. It's better than nothing. But is it possible to use one of the other dark reds as a backup? Curiosity. Oh, that one looks super busted. Oh! Hideous. Okay, so we're gonna have to make a note. We're gonna have to go through every single one of these, and if it looks horrible, we just make it the default swing. That's not the default swing. Try it again. I'm glad we tested that, because I was getting ready to code that. You have no idea. So I don't care if the graphic isn't like 100% accurate. Better than nothing. I'm gonna denote these with the star whenever we need a custom. And for now, I'll make the custom axe just 1. Alright, so normal knight I think was fine. We took a look at that. Let's look at yellow and blue. That one's also kind of funky. I'm gonna make a star next to that. Again, it's just a kind of a quick fix. 116. 15. I could have that one also just use the normal axe color. I suppose there's really no downside to it. Doing a quick test. Yeah, in fact, let's just override it with the normal axe color for now. Unless it looks good. Unless it looks good, then I'll keep it. But I expect most of these to not work. Yeah, we could take a look at the swing animation specifically. I don't think it's a bad idea. I'm just looking to see which ones at the moment will take the... or, like, 100% needed. We have all these really hideous Joseph Book colors. But yeah, like, we could force all of these to be here. Sunburst, are you a working axe, or are you just broken as all get out? Let's find out. Oh, you're hideous. So it looks like more often than not, chat, we're gonna have to probably do a custom axe here or there. Ooh, yeah, that one is not acceptable. Ooh. That's also not acceptable. So almost every single one of these got marked. So we'll go back to the ones that we're going to put in the main armors. Where's Barney is working? Whatever. I'll still probably overwrite this. In fact, it's looking like everything's gonna get overwritten. Yeah. Okay, so why don't we find Axe colors next? And I think that'll be the last thing that we do. Oh no. Oh no, that's not good. The animation is good like Kicky Feet? They should be. We could test it real quick. It's a good point. Oof. Yeah, we're gonna have to override this. Yeah, I just want to make sure we don't blindly do it. I tested getting hit, so I know I have all the getting hit animations. Wow, we're overriding literally all but one. That's crazy. Well, anyway, I guess we could Kicky Feet or something. I need to turn on the other mode though. We'll do that at the end, I think. Because I don't want to override the cheats right now. So why don't we try looking at other swings? Put it at like 58 or something, just how it looks. Hideous. So where is the one that's different? Oh, that's really annoying. I can't increment and use the controller at the same time. That is beyond annoying, chat. I would have to do this 255 times just to see all the colors. I don't know if I have the patience for that. That's a bit much. Okay, what if we just skip to something that has like a shiny effect? Oh, that looks super broken. Okay. I have a feeling we might only be able to get away with the default swing, but we could take a look at some other ones. Love it just doesn't work on some of these. Yeah, I was hoping we could get more. I mean, it's not saying that we can't. Like, some of those just straight up don't work. Yeah, I don't get why you can't rebind what the increment is, because if it was literally anything else, I wouldn't have this problem. But they don't let you override it, which is really stupid. I would just like to state I should have been able to do it. But I don't know how to force BizHawk Hex Editor to be anything other than plus. Because if it was even just like F1 or something, then I would be fine. I could do that without needing to literally swap every single time. Yeah, I'd have to right-click, increment, and click back, and then do this. That looks like a normal axe. Kind of boring. That looks like a hideous axe. It's like almost right, but not quite. I have a feeling just a lot of these are just not gonna work. Let's see, we're getting like weird flashes. Yeah, unfortunately it is a little bit infuriating. Pretty horrendous to click out. I'm just gonna try a handful, and if I don't see any in this attempt, I'm gonna give up. But I'm gonna welcome other people that want to go to this exact hex address of 17A268 if they want to attack with axe armor. I will more than welcome them to find numbers. I'm gonna look at just a handful of them, but I'm not gonna go through all 255. So we just went through the first 16. A lot of them don't seem to do anything. We could get some really weird broken effects. I'm gonna do it in increments of 10 and see how I feel about it. I accidentally did not use the book value. Get like an idea of anything, like it's all like flickery. I don't know, chat. I think this might be a dead end. I don't think there's much we could do about this. Skip ahead to 80 because of the other numbers already. Yeah, like a lot of those just don't seem to do anything. Unfortunate. Yeah, these don't seem to do anything at all. Do like 3 more. I'm gonna give up. I see very weird graphics. I don't know what that's from, but nice, I guess. 2 more I'm gonna try. Yeah, that's not good. And I think this will be a bust. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's as robust as Alucard. We have a lot less colors to play with, but at least we got something done. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna give up. We looked at like 30. Most of them didn't work, and/or were super glitched. I'm gonna put this back to 1 for now. I know some people will be like, I see the different color axe. Or I could turn the axe off. I mean, it's really up to what people want. I guess I should probably ask. Yeah, it was worth testing. I mean, alternatively... I mean, I think the slice animation kind of helps visually to see where your hitbox is. I think I need to keep some kind of visual there. I was thinking about if I should just leave it without, but then it's like, how do you know how high up you're hitting? Okay, I think I gotta leave it default. So anything else we want to test? I guess now that we're done with that, I will briefly test getting hit. And it'll crash because it's the hex editor is weird. I blame the hex editor, chat. It really does not like me incrementing, decrementing. It's like, what did you do? Explodes. I love I just have the screen button. Because I was testing switching to Axe Armor, which unfortunately has not been going super well. I haven't figured out how to keep him in Axe Armor. I thought I had a fix, and then it didn't work. Yeah, I just have the screen back to back. Oh, he is flickering. So there's an address I'm missing. Hold on. I mean, obviously his axe is all messed up, but we know about that. So what am I missing in the search? Because I added one already. Actually, it'd be easier for me to do Ram Watch, open, Axe Armor, one of these at random, you and Hex Editor, go chat the Hex Editor. We're gonna play a little game of spot what number I missed. My favorite game, chat. Hex Editor being fickle as usual. Thank you, Hex Editor. He does scream, when he dies, due to the crash. We're gonna freeze these. We'll have a visual reference. Where am I missing a value? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I don't see one here, actually. Is it just this one? Is that all I'm missing? The one I always forget to freeze. Make it like any color. I don't think it matters right now. I think it's good now. Okay, I was just missing that one. We had it already. What indeed, chat? Love that I have 1,442 hearts. Why do I have 1,442 hearts? You know what, chat? I'm not going to question how I got that many hearts on this character. I didn't really look at that number until just now, and I was like, wait a minute. Oh, look, I have what? So, I guess we could play a little bit longer, but I definitely do want to go to bed at some point. So I think we got colors set aside, which is good. I guess I could briefly showcase changes, just to kind of wrap up the stream. The things like Strength Potion should be working. I'm sure Christopher Grimm will be very happy to know it works in both hands now. I think this is the build where I made the change, hopefully. Not the build I made the change. Oh, it is. Good. Anyway, that works. Strength Potion should impact you. I haven't fully tested it, so it's probably a little buggy. Oh, maybe because I was testing Heart Refresh. So heart refresh should work, but I'm assuming because I'm above cap, it's going to set me down lower than cap. I think what I'll do, not in this patch, but the next patch, I think I'm going to have it track which effect you use. So if you do have 2 different items, or excuse me, not what effect you use, I'm going to track what hand you use. So if you use an item on one hand, it doesn't lock you out of the other one. Why is that not working? Do I have a typo in heart refresh? I'm going to make a note of that. Oh no, chat. Check heart refresh. It could be like... Could be uppercase in the back end or lowercase. See, heart refresh there, the R is uppercase, which you can't see due to the other thing, but in the back end, in the API, it's not consistent with how it's displayed here. So I'm gonna double check this. It could be with uppercase R. Again, items I always mess up because they are just so inconsistent with how they're spelled. I think in terms of the upcoming patch, I don't really want to add too much else. But yeah, essentially you can use items with both hands. I'll have to check that bug later. I changed how the damage works with the character overall, so subweapons are generally a lot weaker. With the exception of Bible got buffed. But like, Axe is slightly slower. See how it's not like triple hitting him? It's like a little more sane. If I feel like it's an over nerf, or if you feel it should double hit, I could repurpose the Axe specifically to allow double hitting. Like, you could maybe get it on a tall creature still, but it's gonna be a lot less consistent. Or a lot more consistent. Also, that slide is so sick. I love that. This is my new favorite tech. Just slash into it and just run. I don't remember if we caught this on stream last time, but I added momentum to the face plant, and it lets you do some very silly things, for sure. You can kind of do whatever you want at this point. Probably go through this. Yeah, there we go. Grab that item on the way out. That's a secret tip for Chrysogrim. You can always take that item. You don't have to go up there. I don't feel like fixing that. I think that's going to be my secret tech, unless other people watch me do it. Be like, it's my item now. I might nerf Hellfire damage slightly in the future. I haven't really decided. I think for now I'm going to leave it as is. But Galamoth, I have Galamoth somewhere, got a big buff, so he is no longer as killable. So remember, I'm hitting for like 100, like I have 72 int, so I should be hitting for like 90 plus damage. Give you an idea. Let's see how much Dagger is doing to him currently. Doing 23. So he got a big buff. Unfortunately, he's been kind of annoying with me. The spells also took a damage hit here. This was doing like 200 to him previously. You definitely have to be a lot smarter with it. Well, speaking of which, this is my new favorite tech. Don't tell people, Chrysogrim, it's my favorite. The dagger can loop him. So amazing. Miss damage is much lower on him, so he should feel like a real fight. You better pay attention on this fight or you will perish. So I feel like that feels closer to appropriate difficulty. So hopefully Galamoth won't just instantly die. It'll be a threat again. I know people in Chrysogrim's chat were asking why I nerfed it. And I said it felt a little easy for sure. But I think because of how much damage you could potentially do consistently with this character compared to Alucard, I think specifically for Axe Armor, I'm giving him like another, I don't know, like 500 health-ish? Maybe? Yeah, 500 plus he scales another 125 per relic. So he's gonna get about another 1,000 or so. But more importantly, his defense is no longer 0 for Axe Armor. I think it's 3. That does actually scale damage down quite a bit. And then on top of that, specifically for spells and subweapons, subweapons do a quarter damage, and spells do half, and I think Mist does a quarter. So your main damage option takes a much larger hit. Your melee damage is mostly untouched, which I think is fair. I mean, if you're going to go up and melee him, I actually want them to do damage. And it kind of puts it in line with the, each spell only does about a melee's worth of damage, or maybe 2 melee. So you definitely have to think about it a bit more. I mean, obviously, I'm really used to fighting him, so I know he's probably going to be a big obstacle for people that are not really comfortable with him. But I feel like, isn't that kind of the point of Galamoth? Like, now you actually have ways to play with him that are fair. Like, Kicky Feet actually lets you get away from the Thunderball. And you can avoid his stomps by having a sub-weapon, strategically attacking. So it's like, you have options. You could do the air fireball. I think it's okay. I'll just show that off. If you have a lot of it, but if you have a lot of MP, you can burn it that way. It's still recommended you do this, just to save yourself some MP. And also to save more MP, it's better just to use the upward motion. When he does the Thunderball attack, that's quite annoying. I meant to Kicky Feet through that. Yeah, he's definitely a challenge for sure. I'm gonna do this. I have missed, so I might as well do some damage here. It is a little challenging, I will say. If I don't just spam Subweapon. Do I not have enough MP? Where's my MP? Okay. I mean, we're almost done with the fight, but it was still like... See what I mean? Like, if you don't know the strats, it's definitely going to be pretty challenging. Because I'm slightly over-leveled for that. Actually, I'm not even slightly over-leveled. I'm not even level 40. But you could probably come here like 9 or so levels under. And obviously, I rolled super, super good on the int. So spells will do much less than that normally. In fact, I cannot believe our int actually hit 74. Like we rolled really well comparatively. That means at least 10 levels or so were +2 to the stat instead of +1. So that's with like good int. You know, it still takes a fair amount of time. And I guess one more thing we can show off that we sort of saw it for a moment there. But when we use the miss button, I standardized the miss damage. So normally, just Kicky Feet side to side does 3 damage. If you're using the Mist Boost that you do with All Rocks, it does +10 damage. So you can see that does a lot of damage to All Rocks. If you fly up in the air, it also does some boosted damage, but not as much as the Mist Boost. I think we're not seeing a big damage difference at the moment, just because of the fact that it's divided by 4 damage. Also, this is enough to stun lock him. You know what, chat? I'm gonna leave this in here. This will be our little secret Christogram. Don't tell anybody. This actually stun locks. This didn't used to stun lock, but you know what? I'm having a good time, chat. Listen. Poison Mist is putting in the work. The stun lock is real. Tell them to get good. Do the side-to-side motions. Wow, that really... Wow! There we go. Hey! There you go, Christogram. You can take that one when you play next time. I mean, like, it costs a lot of MP. Actually, not even that much MP. I mean, like, 224 is not a very high amount. I had it overcapped a little bit, but honestly, just get a couple melee swings at the end. Like, even if you burn out, I think you could do 400 damage with just melee. Because I think I'm coming in with all but one Vlad, right? Yeah, all but one Vlad, which is... You would not normally do this fight if you had 5 Vlads, so this is the hardest the fight would ever be on Mayhem. And as I said before, his health scales with relics, so if you come in with only like 1 Vlad, then that's another 400 less damage you have to deal. So I feel like that's pretty fair. Or actually, no, I increased that. So instead of 125 per relic, which is how he used to scale, I think it's 250. So right now he has an extra 1,000 health. So I beat him with 1,000 plus 500. So he has almost literally 200%, maybe 250% compared to his other incarnation. So yeah, this one is a vastly buffed Galamoth for sure. And as I said before, he also has a small defense bonus, and your spells do a lot less. So I feel like that's pretty fair. But I did not know that could stun lock him. I'm not going to remove it. I'm going to say, you know what? If you picked up Poison Cloud, you should be able to go, you know what? I have one use for it. Like, can you just... Okay, so I'm at 249. That's not even a huge overboost either. I think realistically you could get that much coming into this room. If you just do this... I mean, it's a little slow compared to just meleeing, but it works. Oddly. Yeah, as long as you hold up or down, it'll do more damage. If you go neutral, you see it only does 3 damage, or even 1 damage, depending on how you let go of the neutral, like if you're holding flight or not. So basically, I'm encouraging you, as the missed damage, is you have to use up and down repeatedly. Or if you got a really good spot on him, for example, you could just kind of do this. Because this will be the most optimal damage. Just use the this boost for more damage. So I feel like this uses more mechanics, and it makes it a bit more interesting than just holding still on him. At least I'm falling up and down, chat. So yeah, just that 1 extra damage a tick, kind of big. Yeah, that's pretty fast. So I didn't even use my overcapped MP. I mean, granted, my int is high, so it's probably going to do 1 or 2 less damage, comparatively. But yeah, I mean, it's theoretically possible to get this far. So hey, if you happen to have high int, enjoy a free win, I guess. Well, I wanted to test Bible damage, so we'll showcase this before we end. You can see it's a lot more standardized. It's doing quite a bit of damage. That's with 36 int. Again, like, this is a character that's hit the end of the game. So if you think the damage is high, keep in mind I'm level 40. And I also have every Vlad, I think. Yeah, I have every Vlad. So I have every possible bonus, I think, while testing this. So I was kind of comparing, like, speed-wise, what kills the fastest. And I was using poor Hippogriff here for testing. So, like, I still think, like, normal Fireball kind of OP. Like, that almost killed him right there. Yeah, that killed him pretty quickly. So, like, Hellfire, I think, is still going to be the fastest way to kill. But I think what's going to be interesting and see what the people that speedrun the game or do races with it do is whether or not they want to speed up the boss fight at the expense of MP. Because MP is a very precious resource because it's all of your mobility. So, like, can you really afford to lose 60 MP? Or do you just lose 2 seconds and consume your hearts so that way you could do the next hallway? I want to introduce that kind of level of thinking with it. And so there are a lot of good ways to kill a boss. It's just that you have to assess, like, how far you are from a save point. I think the people that are able to kind of intuitively pick that up, I think will do pretty good. So anybody that is like at 0 MP after a boss, I feel like they need to rethink strategy. Like, what can I do differently so I'm not at, like, literally 0, and either entering a room or about to fight a boss. So I think that's where people have to kind of move away from things like faceplant to some extent. Like, they just need to damage boost hallways like this and just go through and use as little MP as possible. Like, it is nice to Superman through, but I think people have to acknowledge, like, where it makes sense to potentially do the normal swings. Because you have to also keep in mind, when you're doing the faceplant, you're not regenning MP at all, and you're losing MP. Whereas I'm moving around like this, and I'm gaining MP. So I'm going to end up with a really huge mobility and boss advantage, because more often than not, having playtested it a lot, I know a lot of the hallways where I know that this is the best movement, because, like, otherwise it'll cost me like 90 to 100 MP. Now, granted, if I have Mana Prism, you know, the strategy will change a bit. But just stating, like, I do think there's an interesting amount of depth to the game, and potentially, chat, I will end up racing with people at some point, because I feel pretty comfortable with this compared to regular SotN, and I don't need as much item knowledge compared to regular SotN. So I might end up playing with, like, Chrysogrim and God's Child and Jupiter Climb. I'm thinking about it. Because I feel, as I said before, really comfortable moving around with him. I think there's only, like, a couple areas where I feel a little iffy on the platforming, but otherwise, like, I kind of know the basic routing. And, like, obviously, if people just guess the right route, then, you know, they're going to have, like, a 10 to 15 minute time advantage. But I feel pretty comfortable. I don't think I'm going to be pausing too much, if at all, to look at the map and reassess. I think it's a good state if I want to race. And I think my Richter fight is fairly consistent at this point versus Dracula. So I think those are most of the hurdles. As I said before, having gone through the castle, like, a lot, I know more often than not I should be doing this to boost through. Now, there's some places where I want to hold jump and do the cross, and I'll lose, like, a little bit of time over people that might do faceplant. But again, like, comparatively, I'm now at 310 MP, so I could just absolutely devastate a boss. So I just have to kind of walk that fine balance, and I think players that end up playing it a lot will also do the same thing of whether or not, like, it's technically faster to do the faceplant, but you then lost, like, 120 MP, whereas I'm now, like, plus 60, where I will just kill every boss instantly. So any time spent through hallway navigation is just, like, gone, and it's just really, I guess, dependent on how far you need to go for a save point or how many bosses you have to kill. Now, granted, there are a lot of save points near bosses, but again, if you'd even just do, like, simple travel like that through all rocks, like, for example, you get that save point, you fly up and you go left. The people that fly to the left with faceplant are literally going to be at half MP. So where they will have to kind of struggle with the second form, I'm going to kill them instantly. And then when they can't leave the room because they burned all their MP, I still have half my MP left, so I can make the other check, fly up, get save, and I don't lose any time there. So I think there's going to be a lot of interesting routing decisions, both on how to clear a path, as well as, like, what relics are necessary, or what things can be skippable, or what's out of logic. So I'm hoping it gets to that state, and I hope that either these sessions where I talk about the game or showcase the game kind of help elevate everybody to my perceived level of where they are, because I'm going to let you know, chat, I feel like I should be outperformed by almost everybody. Granted, I have a lot of experience, so I have the head start. But ultimately, the level of skill I'm playing at, for the people that race SotN, I fully expect for them to just smoke me. Because they've been playing the game for a long, long time, and I've just kind of picked it up again after a very long break. But we'll see. As I said before, this mode is very different. So for now, I have the advantage, so for now, I'll race. I think that's how I should see it, chat. I'm like, yeah, I kind of know how to get through that room pretty quickly. Well, speaking of which, yeah, look how fast that is now, by the way, through the mist gate. Look how good that feels. Ooh. Look at that, chat. Anyway, I did try to add some soft lock prevention here. Like, it is, I think I mentioned this in a previous stream, like, it is possible to clip out. It's just really, really hard. You have to kind of be doing it on purpose. Like, you really got to try to force yourself through. Now, going through the ceiling is not as hard. You could definitely do that. I just don't think it's beneficial. Actually, it looks like that soft lock prevention is working, so I don't think I am, unless I do something like this. Nope. Oh, almost did it, almost did it. But again, like, you have to really, really, really try. Like, it is possible still to go out of bounds, but you saw that took me, like, a whole minute of literally just, like, rubbing against the gate and trying to, like, alternate between L1/miss to go through and high jump, and I had to have spike breaker, and I don't know. I don't think it'll happen in a normal race, I'll put it that way. I mean, you saw how many attempts it took, and I know how to go out, and I still didn't get it in, like, less than 5 tries. So I feel pretty good about, like, people being in bounds. Well, actually, is there one place I can show before we end the stream? Where is it at? Oh. This is not near it. Do I have something closer? Oh, we get to hear the screams again. Oh, I really don't. So, I wanted to just state, I went back into the the chapel, and I forgot that those little platforms at the bottom of the towers are technically the same as the axe armor hallway, so I actually clipped out of bounds there, but that's fixed now. You'll have to take my word for it. You can't just, like, hold down and clip through the tower. Because I was like, wait a minute, that looks suspiciously like the axe armor hallway platforms you could clip through. But, I think we're good there. So any last things I'm trying to think of as we wrap up the stream? There isn't really anything else, really. I mean, I guess I could show one more thing here. Guess we'll see how good Axe is. I think it can still multi-hit him. But I think Axe is still probably one of the best sub-weapons. But I think I tuned it down enough. You know, you actually have to aim for the body parts to multi-hit. Obviously, if you could fly, you could kind of cheese everything. They're just showcasing just different strategies if people were curious. I think due to it multi-hitting, it's easier to stun him as well. But unfortunately, when you get forced away from him with the Thunderball, you don't really have a good way to get close again. Making it not a good way to get close again. Here's an example of where I just weakened him up a little bit. We're doing the miss stuff. There we go. This should be nice and easy. So yeah, I wanted to give some more skill expression to the mist. So knowing where you can kind of do this on the boss is kind of important. But I also wanted to make sure that when it was in the air, it wasn't useless. I think that was one of my other complaints, where I just felt like it did no damage. I feel like I hit it mostly happy medium. Also, it's no longer just doing 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Welcome back, Christogrim. We're wrapping up the stream. I was just showcasing another way to kill Galamoth. I was talking about maneuvering through hallways, where I was saying I think the end game of this is figuring out what hallways you should do this through so that you're always gaining MP versus the face plant. That's why I was saying I'm really curious when people get more comfortable with the game, what kinds of things they'll do for the movement and preference. Because I do think the slash attack is really, really good because it has the hidden benefit of being the only way to move fast and also gain a ton of MP. So I was showcasing, for example, I went through a hallway and it cost me, I don't know, like 40 MP-ish to like face plant through. Like, I guess I'll do it again. But like, if I do this, so just that, I lost about 30 MP. Or comparatively, entering this hallway. We're 242. Instead of costing 30 MP to do the hallway, I went up 5 MP. I was saying, like, I'm very curious what'll happen when people start routing it in. I do feel like if you end up at 0 MP with the boss, I would definitely reconsider the movement there. So I'm really curious what people will do with it when they get more comfortable. As I said before, I have basically found boss strategies for every boss where I don't really need a lot of MP to kill them, and it's very quick. So I feel like I've seen a lot of people struggle with like Succubus, for example. I remember hearing like Axe Lord armor is not good against Succubus, and I'm like, I'm gonna disagree fully. Like Succubus still doesn't get an attack when I play, and that's after nerfs. So I do think it just requires like a different kind of approach to those kinds of things. And I do feel like people are underestimating how powerful the Hellfire Ball is. I think this right here, it did like 500 damage. He's almost dead. Like, he's dead. So I feel like when people realize how good the Hellfire Slow Ball is, yeah, I think you did a pretty good job, Christogrim. I saw some people take upwards of like 45 seconds. And I'm like, oh no. I'm like, oh no, she's using her clone attack? I don't want to see that. I'm like, something went wrong. Like, I know you might not always have Bat, for example, so there are different ways to kill her quickly. But I'm really curious what people end up using. I do think Hellfire Ball tends to be the solution more often than not. Just due to the fact that it scales really, really well. And even though it costs a lot of MP, as I said before, as long as you ration it, I think you'll just save so much more time than the people that do that. And I think I gave another example was Olrock's Christogrim, where I was watching a lot of people go into the Olrock's chamber, and they would end up burning like 70 to 80 MP just going from the save room to Olrock's. And I'm like, those are 4 Hellfire Fireballs, and I could kill Olrock's at just that amount. So I'm like, I will try to use it as little as possible, unless I am sure I'm going to get to a save point. So I'm very curious what'll happen, because I know people that race the game like you, Christogrim, are fairly familiar with the different routes you would take for the relics. So now I think there's a learning curve of not only the different tech you would use for speed, but also the different ways to conserve that MP. So even though like it is the fastest way to do it, I definitely want to see people kind of question it, like, is that actually the best way in the long run? Because I don't want there to be a universal best option, because there's a lot of hallways where this slash attack is just not viable at all, in particular in Reverse Castle. But I'm very curious what people will end up doing with it. And one of the goals is that I wanted Mist to be more useful. So I think that little quick tap of Mist, I feel for the people that just kind of stay on the ground briefly, I think they are missing out on a lot of MP conservation. So I was showcasing, for example, against the boss, where, like, if I fly up and stunlock Galamoth by doing this to him repeatedly, like, it does okay damage. If I go up and down, you can see the damage goes up. More importantly, if I'm on the floor, and I'm using the Mist Rise that you get from Olrock's, it actually does boost the damage. So I want people to kind of like, I want there to be more skill expression than just holding the button. I mean, I guess I'm holding a button, I'm holding 2 buttons here, but it's like getting into the right position for these things and knowing when you can use this could be pretty important. And again, I can kind of reset it, stay in the air longer. And if I want to burn less MP, I just fly. So there's kind of like the trade-off of like, do I could rapid cancel, for example, to do damage. So if I'm really fast at mashing, I could technically get more damage there. But it'll burn through a lot more MP. You have to kind of question like what works. Yeah, dagger I think is going to be probably one of the best weapons on Galamoth, unless you get the axe damage. And again, I want to reward melee on Galamoth, so I feel like these balance changes are pretty good. I think the soft block changes are in. I don't know if I have a scene at the elevator, but I made changes to the elevator, so it's harder to fall out. So I think we're going to keep the build as is for the most part. I'm basically just going to add in cloak colors, and we're going to revisit, I think, some mechanics in the next patch. But for people looking forward to racing, I said I'll probably give it a try while I have the experience. Because I feel like right now, I could probably outperform the people that play SotN that race it, because the only thing that matters is Axe Lord armor experience. I definitely have the most. So I have a reasonable chance of doing well in it. Oh yeah, my con is terrible. I have a reasonable chance of winning it. Like, obviously, if people choose the better routing with relics, they'll beat me. But I feel like I could at least put up a show where I feel like if I were to put into, like, the racing scene and I were to do regular Alucard, I would be at such a disadvantage because I'm not good at wing smashing. So, we'll see. Even if people take another week to learn it and test it, because I know there's other tournaments going on, I think it'd be kind of fun. So, I'll throw in my hat for at least one race. Yeah, I'm very curious what people end up doing with it, and I think one of my favorite techs, I don't remember if this was in the patch you played Chrysogrim. Might have been, but just in case. But yeah, the kicky feet with the momentum is so good, by the way. You can just slide on in. It might have been in the one you tested. I know other people didn't play with it, so I think you might have gotten it an advantage over them if you got that. It's so good just to go through that quickly. So it definitely shaves off, like, probably about... just that alone, just on the ground specifically, probably shaves off, like, 40 seconds. Just because every time I have to duck through the walkway, I conserve all my speed. So it's, like, at least a 4 to 5 second time save. So I just go so fast, and I can cancel it. So if I do that both ways, it's, like, about 20 seconds saved. Because, again, normally you do it really slow, and then you would kind of, like... and you need to rebuild momentum, and then you would have to do like some kind of attack to get the speed again, and that ends up wasting a lot of time. So I think that change is pretty good. I think I can also do crazy things like that to get through. So I could like preemptively go in there and maintain speed. I'm really curious what kind of ways people will end up entering the room. And see, I'm using the ledge cancel there to get out of the kicky feet animation faster. Just like little text like that. I'll be very interested to see what people end up perfecting with it. I think for now, chat, we're past my stream cutoff time. So let's talk about how we feel the session went. Well, thanks to chat, I think we got opinions on most of the colors. And unfortunately, it looks like there's not much to do with the axe swing. But we'll be adding color change to the different cloaks. Hopefully people will be excited to actually wear cloaks in SotN. It gets a new color change. 69 strength, yeah, something like that. But I think other than that, we're kind of at the point where I think balance-wise, it's a lot better. We tuned down axe. Dagger is roughly the same. I think it's maybe like -2 damage. Stopwatch and the Bible damage is, well, Stopwatch got lowered and Bible got raised, so they're the same amount of damage. I think other than that, I might rethink how crits are done on the Bible. I think for now, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to focus on the color change. And we'll maybe revisit some mechanics, like, as I said before, new mechanic, different cooldowns per hand. So that way, if you're, like, dual-wielding a duplicator item, it feels a little better to use. It still shouldn't be, like, butter smooth, because I do think duplicator needs a nerf. Duplicator is literally just too powerful. But we'll see where we go from there. But I think for now, chat, we've discussed everything I think we're going to discuss. So hopefully you had a good time. We kind of messed around mostly with the colors today. We didn't do any runs. But I'm planning on doing another run to kind of do one final sanity test on the build. Just kind of test different movement forms. And I'll probably go over things like boss strategy. So if people are looking to see like what I found to be the most optimal, I definitely encourage you and welcome you to go to the stream. Because as I said before, we figured out most of the bosses where this is clearly the best strategy, and I don't think there's anything you could even do to improve it. In particular, Cerberus. Cerberus is very much figured out. I feel bad for Cerberus. Scylla I'm kind of working on. Scylla I'm between two things. I guess it really depends on what subweapon you have. But Scylla's pretty easy. I guess unless you actually let her attack, then, you know, then you mess something up, I guess. But other than that, I think we got good strategies for Dracula. Shaft's a little kind of iffy. There's like ways to optimize the damage, but it's not consistent. So we might revisit some of the harder fights like that. I think Death is also pretty much figured out. His Form 2 is figured out for sure. But Form 1 is kind of weird because he bounces away from you, which is not really optimal for damage. So we'll probably explore a couple boss kill methods, and we'll see how things go. And I guess the last update, I don't remember if we covered this on stream or not before, but we fixed the walls opening for Adventure Mode and Expedition. Now, I will never do Adventure Mode again because I absolutely hated that seed. I cannot believe the things it made you do to complete the seed, and that was completely normal and expected logic. So I will never play Adventure Mode again. But for the people that do, it should be working in this patch. I might try Expedition. Unfortunately, I think Saturday will have to be a shorter seed type, so we'll probably stick to Guarded OG. But maybe in the future, we'll kind of explore around, double check to make sure things aren't despawning. Oh, that reminds me, there's one thing I have to fix for Chrysogrim. Is despawning hearts in reverse, but only certain ones, which was weird. That was like a very specific scenario. So I'll take a look at it. Hopefully you have fun with the Chrysogrim. It's mostly, I would just say, kind of cleaned up from the version you played. Not too many major differences. So hopefully you have fun with it, and hopefully you survive. If you play Kind and Fair, I wish you luck. You might need it. Maybe for you, I'll put a pity version where food items could just generically be consumed for health. I could just do that. Just any item you hold could just be eaten for food that's not a shield. You're like, hey, a Marsil. Let's eat the Marsil. Yum, healing. But we'll see. But I think for now, chat, we're gonna leave it here. Maybe I'll do an experimental patch on Sunday for Chrysogrim to kind of give him more options. Like maybe I'll put some basic hold a weapon, get an element kind of things, so he has more melee access. Because I do want that eventually, and I think that'll be the next big update outside of the color change. But I think for now, that's all I really have to say for the YouTube video. So we're going to say goodbye to YouTube. If you got to this point of the video, I'd just like to thank you for watching, and hope to hear from you next time.